So almost every consult that I have, I get asked the same question, and that is, what is the CA Bar Style program all about? How does it work? I've made several videos like this in the past, but I realize I haven't made a new one in a while. So I'm going to go over kind of a general overview of the program and the steps that I cover. It's kind of like a 5-6 point plan, and elaborate when needed. So here it is. Number one, we start with consultation, and that's where I build a strategy. If you've taken the exam before, or you're a repeat applicant, or if you're a foreign attorney or an attorney applicant or first time taker, there's strategy built into everything that we do. How long you should be studying, when you should start your studying, which bar you should take. Are there any extraneous factors that we have to take into consideration? Like, are you a parent? Are you working? Are you still in law school? So on and so forth. So that's always the first step. Once the blueprint is made, then I go into your schedule and I make you a schedule. If you're doing early prep, then that is highly customized. It's based around the strategy that I put together. If you're coming right into the general course, then it is a schedule based on the status of you as an applicant. So like first time taker, attorney applicant, repeat applicant, they all have a baseline scheduling. And of course that schedule is built and modified for any individual needs, but everyone needs what's in that schedule. And so here's the flow. The flow of the scheduling is always starting with focused substantive law review. I like to have my applicants get out of the law a little bit quicker and not just stay too long in it. This is not a substantive law program, meaning I'm not going to just stand in front of a video and read an outline to you. We deal with the strategy behind the law, which is of course learning the law through outlines that we have, amazing, streamlined, really minimal. Like, I don't want to use the word minimal in the sense that they're not all encompassing, because they are, but they're not going to bog you down and overwhelm you. So if you're looking for 80, 90 page outlines per subject, this is not, it's not going to happen at CA Bar Style. What we have are very thorough black letter law outlines that I call them the long outlines that guide you into the categorical elements and their standards, their rules. And then we get out of the category a little quicker. We don't just sit with it, because that's just passive learning. And we get into how the law is tested through essay approach, that is in video format as well as paper document format. And I'm having you connect with approach. The approach teaches you, for the essay portion, every which way to apply your issues, and issues you should be always on the lookout for, as well as non-issues that they may even want you to go into, or minor issues, and causes of action and defenses. It teaches you the analysis required for certain issues. So it's really full throttle, and it's based on 25 years of the California Bar Exam essay portion. It is a highlight of the program. These approaches are used in many law schools by law students, and it's really something that's always evolving, and the course is really known for these approaches. Soon I will be selling them on Amazon. We're getting that together, so really excited about that. But back to the course. So you learn, again, the law, the category, and your schedule, and then you get into the approach. And you're working within the approach. The approach is not the end all be all. You have to manipulate it. You're also going into approach on multiple choice, and of course the performance test, a crucial component to the test. So you're learning the how to do it in the time allotted, and that's where real training and connectivity really begins. And after you have that approach, then you go into your practice as the third step. This is a crucial part. This is where you're putting everything that you're learning into play. You're learning all the twists and turns of the different categorical areas and how they're tested on the essays, how they're tested on the multiple choice. You're starting to get in tune with areas of law that you need to improve in, approaches that you're struggling with, or areas of law that perhaps you need more practice in, and you're submitting work product. So we're starting the journey of getting your file together. It's your individual file. And it's really important to understand this process, because there is a conception out there of, why aren't we just jumping right into tutoring? Well, tutoring has to be beneficial. And if you're just tutoring based on one essay, you're not really seeing a pattern as an expert assessor like myself or tutor. So I do require some form of work product, at least 2 to 3, 4 essays and a performance test and a batch of preliminary multiple choice work, although we can start on the writing first, especially if you're in early prep, to make an accurate assessment and not just give you some on the surface feedback of where you stand and what I see. And that is the crucial 4th step, assessment. So after your work product is submitted, we have assessment milestone periods. You can call them tutoring. It's synonymous. I like to say more assessment because by the time you come to the session, typically we do those on Zoom. If you are in the Los Angeles area, we have offices in Sherman Oaks and Encino where you can still come in person. And in those assessments, I'm going over the totality of your file, what I see. So there's an assessment already ready. Of course, there's great grader feedback for all the written parts. And we have your data chart on your MBE that you send to me. But I come in to really elevate that feedback. And that is really crucial because so many applicants are walking around and just looking at the score or looking at some comments from a grader, but they're not really understanding patterns and areas of weaknesses that they need to improve in. So I've been doing this 15 years. Can't even imagine the totality of essays and PTs and MBE scores that I've assessed and looked at. And I'm able to see things rather quickly. So there has to be some batch of work products. You have to do the work. It will not work if you don't do the totality of my scheduling. But I'm able to see right away and elevate that feedback to really pinpoint what's going on in all 3 components or just the writing if you're just an attorney applicant. So that's where really the magic happens and the clarity starts really happening, especially for my repeat applicants that have been taking this so many times and really don't know what they're doing wrong. So those assessments are different within every packaging. In 2025, I'm really focusing in on assessments and coaching. That's why applicants come to me. They come to me for everything because there is a course. You have to do the foundational work. That's how you're going to learn how this, the standard is and really get a foundation going to be able to execute all 3 areas and gain your points. But then the individual component is us working together one-on-one. And after I give you that assessment, then you go and you implement everything I've given you to progress in your schedule and to apply those skills and training that we've done and clarity that I've given you to the next batch of work product. And then we keep the tutoring and assessment period going all the way till the end. So it might be like in your first assessment, I'm seeing patterns of not connecting with approach, not taking it literally enough. Perhaps you're doing storytelling on your analysis. Maybe you're not giving enough counter arguments or your performance test timing is really off. That happens a lot. And so by maybe the second milestone, I'm not looking to see perfection. I do have a reputation of being quite hard. I think hard is not the right word. It's more thorough, and we have a high standard because I want to create buffers so that you don't have to keep taking this. So by that second tutoring session, I want to see progression. I want to see movement. And if you're taking what I'm saying to heart and you're implementing it, doesn't mean that, of course, you can't give feedback, but you really do have to take what I say and implement the strategy. And if you do that, then you will see movement. And sometimes it's a little slower, a little faster. Everyone's kind of different. Now, the 5th step is kind of all encompassing. So as you're moving through these steps within every single subject, there's also re-review that goes on. So we're not just, getting out of a subject and not seeing it until the test. There's also timing practice that goes on. Weekly Zooms within the general course in a group setting. They go about 2 hours. And that's where I'm covering the topics that we're covering that week. I'm going over in Zoom, in class, issue spotting. We have a performance test workshop. We have a legal analysis writing workshop. And I'm going over my patterns and predictions on the essay portion, which are typically quite high, usually in around the 80 to 90%. So it's really important to watch those if you can't make them live, and you can always email me questions after as well. We also do simulated testing. So we do a full 2 days of testing. And it's important to note we have a remote exam now. So everything is going to be within the confines of a remote exam. And all the training that we did over COVID really got us ready for a remote test. So I made some changes, but the schedule, of course, is going to guide you in all my instruction into how to take and implement a remote exam. And that's really important because it's very different. It's quite different from the traditional preparation because, of course, you don't have printed exam material. You'll have some scratch paper, but no printed essays or performance tests or multiple choice questions. Now, as you're going through the program, there's also coaching. Coaching is different than assessment. I have found some applicants love the coaching. Some applicants don't feel like they don't need it. Whatever it is, it's there. It's factored into every package, whether you need it or not. If you don't, then it's not something that we cover. But a lot of applicants do need it and want it. So it can be anything from testing accommodations to stress levels and pep talks, state of mind type of mantras and affirmations that I give. Other things that come up is like work-study balance. And I'm working with a lot of very busy attorneys or very busy applicants that maybe they're also running a home or they're taking care of their parents. Life goes on, and we have to make sure that the schedule is fitting into their life routine and it really is productive for them and they're not falling behind, or we've given them enough time to prepare and take the exam. So I do manipulate that initial strategy in the consult. Sometimes if an applicant's life potentially, there's things that go on, the life keeps going, the world keeps turning, and sometimes we do have to modify and pivot. But it's important to note that we set a goal for a particular exam, and then I have to see how you do with your preparation, because I know what it's supposed to be looking like, and everyone can prepare well and pass this test for sure, but the preparation does have to have a high level of connectivity. You have to stay on your schedule. You have to keep a positive attitude and trust the process. That is so important. Every passer of my program, and I'm sure many programs out there, will say trust the process. Even if it feels uncomfortable in the beginning, it will feel a little uncomfortable, especially if you've taken this many times and you're used to a certain kind of cookie cutter scheme of just a lot of law and then going right into practice. It takes time. Good days, bad days, whatever it is, my team and I are leading you and guiding you and showing you a lot of love and care, because that is how I run the program. And for 2025, it's going to be really exciting. Of course, there are changes with the new Kaplan questions, and I've made some content about that you can watch on YouTube and Instagram. And there's also a remote exam. So, on top of everything over here, I hope that gives you a good overview. I'm scheduling consults now for 2025. February 25 has a few spots left, but July 25 is, we have early prep going on for January and February, and that's really limited. And you have to have a pre-enrollment consult to come into early prep. That is mandatory, because I have to make sure we have enough months based on, your history and your story, and getting to know exactly what has gone on with you in the bar, or maybe you're a first-time taker. But then we have to talk about you being in law school and how you're going to juggle that all. So feel free to set up a consult. I'd love to talk to you. You can email me directly at cabarstyle@yahoo.com or contact us through the website at cabarstyle.com. Thank you so much if you've watched till the end, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Have a beautiful day.